Good morning, everybody. Final day here at Walt Disney World this trip. Epcot is super jammed this morning. Took forever to get the bag checked and through the turnstiles, but we're heading in. We got a culinary demo, and then we're gonna go to Magic Kingdom tonight. So come along for the ride one last time.
Many of you back again. I always love it when I see not only familiar faces, smiling faces, hungry faces, and you have all of the reason to be hungry today because your appetite is about to get quite satisfied. You've got a beautiful recipe in front of you that in just a moment, Chef Denny Roach is going to be putting together for you. Warm, savory cheesecake souffle featuring Boursin cheese. We'll be talking about that. Cider braised pork belly, warm apple, Brussels slaw. He has really brought fall in, even though for those of you that are coming from northern climes, it seems a little warm out there. To us, I'm wearing a sweater, people. I mean, it is cold to us. We'll be showing how it comes together. Chef Denny Roach and I have worked together for a lot of years. He's been with the Disney company working his magic throughout our properties for many years. We started working together in 2007, I think. Yes, when we were doing, it's part of the Disney production kitchens, which we were doing with the Epcot Food and Wine Festival. So here we are 12 years later, and he is working his magic now at Saratoga Springs, incredible resort if you've not stayed there before, phenomenal in every way. Now with this beautiful view of Disney Springs.
Absolutely.
And the boat that goes over to it.
Sunset, you get to see it all right out there and get the other perspective of Disney Springs. It's a wonderful view over there.
I love it. How about a huge welcome to Chef Denny Roach? Fantastic. So I love that you also did a savory cheesecake because don't we generally think only of sweet cheesecakes, but with the savory we get all of that unctuousness and creaminess that can pair it with the likes of pork belly.
Yep, so with this cheesecake, it's a take on a Japanese souffle cheesecake, so it's a little bit fluffier, it's airier, it's not going to be that dense, heavy cheesecake like a New York style cheesecake would be. And with this one, it sort of also mellows out some of that Boursin cheese, because like I said, Boursin cheese is such a strong, powerful cheese. This style cheesecake is going to let you have a nice airy feel to it, and with that fat from the pork belly, with it being such a rich dish, you're going to get that nice airy cheesecake. It's going to smooth it out and have a nice mellow dish with it. So what we're going to want to start with is the pork belly itself. A couple different ways, and I'll give you a little bit of tricks on how you can do it. You can either do it how it says in the recipe. Again, it's going to take about 4 hours the way it says in there. The night before you get your pork belly, you're going to want to actually get a nice little cut on it and just sort of score it and then rub in some salt into it. It's going to take a lot of that moisture out of the fat. So the next day when you go to cook it, you're not going to have all that moisture in the fat. The fat's going to render down a lot nicer. Again, you usually see it as bacon. So as chefs, we like to call it a bacon steak. So for those of you that love bacon,
it sounds so much better than belly somehow. Yes.
This is just a whole steak of bacon. So it is by no means a healthy portion of the pork, but it is a very flavorful portion.
Let's make it very clear, yes.
What you're doing is you're letting that just sort of come down from being not so cold. If it's a cold cheese, it's not going to mix as well. It'll still mix, but it'll take a little bit longer.
So we should let it come to room temperature before we mix it, ideally, kind of like we would cream cheese.
You get your milk into it, and then the next part is we're going to want to separate those eggs. And we're going to get the egg whites ready.
All set to go. So that's the 3 egg whites with just a little pinch of cream of tartar.
So once you go to put it in the oven, it's very important to do the 2 different temperatures. If you notice in there, it says 375 for half the time, and then 300 for the other half. If you do a large one, I'd still just do about the 8 minutes at the 375. What it does, it gets that nice golden top on it, seals it in, and then from there, that 300 is going to finish off the inside of it.
Nice.
I'd say if you did a whole one, I would do 8 minutes at 375 and then probably about 15 to 20 minutes. And then you'll literally just want to wilt it down a little bit. You're not fully cooking it, just once they start to soften up a little bit, add a tiny bit of that cider that you cooked with before, and then just pull it all together, some salt, some pepper, and it's really going to come nicely together.
It's beautiful. And you all got to taste it. Enjoy? Yeah, beautiful. I'm even thinking, and if you didn't use the sugar, maybe some craisins or some cherries. Love that with
like
Brussels.
especially if you did the cranberry boars and cheese, throw a little bit of craisins inside of that.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a little bit of sweetness from there. So
Love
again, with this one,
that.
it just comes down to how you like your slaw. If you like it sweeter, if you like it a little bit more on the mellower side, it's all up to your preference on that one.
Beautiful. Love that.
And again, your pork belly will be much crispier like you saw on your plate. Getting it underneath that broiler. Fortunately, we don't have one of those out here for you.
No, we do not.
You can either do it whole, slice it from here. The one thing I will say about pork belly, it cuts a lot better when it's cold. If it's hot, as you saw, it was nice and tender, it'll tend to shred if you go to cut it while it's hot.
So let it cool just a
Yes.
bit, okay?
And then from there,
There is your steak. Wow. You are not sparse with your pork belly. That's amazing. Pork steak.
and that pulls your entire dish together for you.
It does indeed. Absolutely beautiful. And there we have warm, savory cheesecake souffle featuring boursin cheese, cider braised pork belly, warm apple Brussels slaw, Chef Denny Roach. How about it? So great. Woo.